Try to imagine all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light.
Total protonic reversal.
Protonic reversal.
Protonic Reversal with your host, Conan Neutron. Broadcasting from a secret underground lair in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
A gigantic middle finger to everything that is rock about music, rock and roll, and corporate power.
The thing is, though, if you don't laugh, you're going to go on a killing spree with sharpened nails.
Confidence of a hero or a fool. I wasn't exactly certain which.
Could not be more professional.
It's the real one. I choose to devote my life to. That's okay.
It means something. It means something.
And take that away.
You know, that's my take on it. What's yours?
Protonic Reversal!
That's like a science thing, right?
Indeed it is. It is a science thing. It is a science place. It is a scientific fact. And we're all up in your face. It is time once again for the one, the only Protonic Reversal. Welcome to it. Episode 416. We are deep in it. 2025. Everything's on fire, including this show. So I'm very excited. Momentarily, I'm going to be talking to Russell Michelle from Camera Obscura. Not the one you may think of, but the good one. And I'm really excited to talk about this awesome reissue with them and everything else. I think it's going to be I already know it's going to be a lively time. It's going to be a lively, good time. But before we do that, welcome to Conan Neutron's Protonic Reversal. I'm your host, Conan Neutron. I'm a rock and roll lifer that's been touring and recording for 25 years. Most known for the band Conan Neutron, The Secret Friends. Music is a huge part of my life, and I use the format of this very long-running podcast to talk about music with musicians whose work I enjoy and respect, but who may not be household names. This is episode 416. Now, if this is your first time listening to the show, archives of it are available for free. No ads, no sponsors, no kidding, at protonicreversal.com. However, if you want to support the show and get episodes sooner, $1 a month at patreon.com/protonicreversal will achieve that goal. If you like the show, even just a single episode, please feel free to like, subscribe on your platform of choice, share it around the internet, or even leave a review. All of that helps people discover the show, beats back the almighty algorithmic overlords. It's just a darn nice thing to do. So there you go. Camera Obscura. This band's awesome. This is an awesome band from back in the day, as we say, which is seems to be Solid Brass's whole thing. So I could have called it like a Solid Brass 2 months, but I've had other shows as well. But I always dug this band. I'm very excited right now. Let's get them on right now. Russell and Michelle, Camera Obscura, welcome to Protonic Reversal.
Hello. I'm so reading about tuxedo cats.
You get your tuxedo cat material just prepared, ready to go.
Vindictive behavior. I have two: Countudus and Circludus.
Wow, those are audacious names.
Is that really their names?
Yeah. You should. I make Lark say the full name when we go to the vet.
Do you give them an honorific too? Like, do you?
Don't use big words in the first 5 fucking minutes.
You have to ease them in, dude.
Thought your people prepared you for
Christ. And are you? I didn't know you were from Milwaukee.
No, well, I'm not from Milwaukee. I lived in Milwaukee since 2017, but I'm from Oakland. I'm from Oakland, California.
Oh shit! Oh well, so that's
California.
Michelle's old kicking grounds when she lived with Neurosis.
Yep. Oh, we used to freaking. Oh yeah, I forgot about Scott. Neurosis used to practice down the hall.
She used to be the nanny.
That's right. Oh wow.
The nanny. No.
Yeah, Neurosis used to practice down the hall from us. I mean, I think like if you live. Neurosis was never too far away. Those guys.
If you lived in the Bay Area in that time, you were always near a Neurosis.
I'm wearing a Steel Pole Bathtub shirt right now.
Oh, there we go.
Sweet. So, I think they're also reuniting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are because Unwound like is just handpicking everything from that comp.
Yep. I guess
I'm old.
That's right. Yeah, because there's Mario's band Click Attack played and okay, all right.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All right. Well, this has been fun.
Yeah, it's been great, everybody.
Thank you.
So, Michelle, you dropped something kind of funny right before we started doing. You guys haven't physically seen each other in forever, right?
It's been a long time. Yeah, I think
Been a minute.
maybe 10 years. Actually, I think it's
Well,
even been more, maybe 12.
Longer, probably. Well,
Longer.
yeah,
How long have you been married, Russell?
10 years. Lark and I got married about
Okay.
10 years on Halloween.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was a horse. She was a unicorn. Paul
Yeah.
Jenkins played the wedding song, and it was
Yeah.
couldn't get any weirder.
I will say though, every single year. in
Your
Halloween,
mom was there.
I know my mom was there. I hear about how that was the best wedding that anyone's ever gone to, and she came to my wedding, and she still loved Russell's better.
Oh, that's
I'm
so
just
nice.
kidding.
I guess what?
No, but I hear
life's
from all
hard.
the friends. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, we haven't seen each other physically for 12, 13 years.
Yeah,
and
something
we
like
literally live like I only moved back to LA a couple months ago, but he
Well, I
lives-
think the last
we're
time I
still
saw
in the
you
deep
was
fires.
when I was on tour with Tim and Eric, and I saw you in Boston, right? Was it Boston?
Mhm, I think,
Or was it?
I think Boston was the last time. It might have been also at the Rustic here in LA.
Oh,
at the bar.
when I scared your husband. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Uh,
It's like there's a whole
Hey.
show going on without me over here. All right. What's happening?
Well,
Hey.
the other.
I'm not allowed to spook anymore, but it's when you don't. He didn't recognize me, and someone running up in LA and saying, "Give me your wallet." Michelle left.
Is that what you did for that? Oh my God! Yeah.
Oh yeah. I wonder what you say. You never get another chance to make a first impression,
Also,
right?
prior to that, in Boston, when we saw him with Tim and Eric, because Russell does sound, and he was on tour with them. We met him at a bar next door, which was like kind of a fancy bar because it was downtown Boston. And Russell came in blazing and then threw his hand on the bar and said, "Give me your best whiskey." That was the first thing he said.
Fantastic. That's great.
So my
I
husband
don't
has
do
great
that.
memories with
I
Russell.
don't do that anymore. There's no best anymore.
Second best whiskey is just fine.
Second best.
I don't know.
Give me your second best whiskey.
No more whiskeys. Only tequila.
Oh, there you go. All right. Yeah, that's well.
Yeah.
Clear or wine.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
yeah.
that's growth of a certain kind, I suppose, right? So.
I know.
Better for your teeth.
What if this a whole hour and a half is just Michelle?
Yeah, that's
and
all we
I,
got time for.
Yeah.
Wrap
You
it
guys
up.
were great.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah. Like and subscribe, everybody.
You still owe me money.
No, but I think it's interesting.
Opposite way around, actually.
Probably. I owe everyone money. I owe everyone everything. I'm a giver when I want to.
So you
Right,
don't physically live that far away, but you have not seen each other in years.
Well, she just moved here. I've been in LA
I
for
just
a
moved back,
minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
she
both
was
lived here in
Switzerland.
2005. Yeah. And I was in Switzerland, and then I was in San Diego, back in San Diego for a couple of years, and now I moved back here.
Selling
Yeah,
ice.
just like 2 months ago. Right in time for the fires. Right in time for everything.
Yeah.
I need
There's
some
a
place
lot of blame.
that's on fire.
I was wondering who I
Yeah.
could blame.
Yeah.
Climate change, Karen
Right.
Bass, Newsom, or my ex-wife.
Oh, we were married, by the way, Conan.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I
were.
figured you were that or you're a comedy duo in the grand tradition. So
That's what we called our marriage.
Yeah.
It was a comedy duo. we were only married for like a couple of months, but we were together for 10.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Something like that. Okay.
It was like 5
Jesus.
years, but that's fine.
Let's scrub it back.
Let's just take it from one. Take it from the top, right?
All right. Do you think it's true?
So,
But
all
I will
right.
tell you, Milwaukee.
Yes.
That remember when we went on tour? You didn't go on the Champagne Kiss tour, and we played with the Gossip, and Harmar was supposed to play, but he got sick because he had different life choices, and they wouldn't let us play because we were too loud.
Oh my God, that's
And
crazy. Where was this at?
In Milwaukee.
Yeah. Do you remember the venue though?
Or like what?
I don't, because the sound, we did sound check, and the
Yeah.
sound guy that literally with the Van Halen shirt, like
That doesn't narrow down.
I don't know. Well, I'm trying to give some type of a
Wasn't Jesse
presence,
from Milwaukee?
but anyway, he was like, cut it, and
Wow.
they were like, that tour we got paid not to play more than 2 play. Yes. it wasn't the best light of my industrial experience.
Right.
But
yeah.
but you know, I still love that fucking record.
Well, Camera Obscura was a hell of a band, and it's I feel like it's one of those things. I was very sad to see another band pick up that name, because when I first heard the band name, and I think it was like it was either the, I don't remember if it said on air or not, or before the show at this point, but the comp or a 7-inch of some kind. But I was like, oh, that's a cool name, not knowing what an actual Camera Obscura was. And then I was like, oh, it's named after this like cool thing. That's awesome. Now it's even cooler. Can you tell me how it all came together? Because it's like one of those things. I feel like now every band's origin story is just known and or in an Instagram reel, but I feel like I don't really know that much about how it all came together.
Well, first of all, the name, I told Dwayne it's a horrible idea.
Yeah, me too. We hated it. It was Dwayne's name, and we both hated it.
And you should have seen us trying to fix the name. And the worst one, I think, was it La Obscura Camera, like, or something stupid.
La Camera. Yeah, we
like
tried to do
we did everything that we possibly could.
Mm-hmm.
But also, you're talking to a band was only together for 24 months.
Right.
And we worked ourselves into a lot of emotions.
Well, let's start from the beginning. You blame Michelle, I know.
Yeah, start from the beginning, go to the middle, and we get to the end. Stop. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so we started. Russell and I were in another band together prior with the drummer, the final drummer for Camera Obscura, called Shortwave Channel. He was in that band. He started that band with some other folks, and then I joined later. And funny enough, we were kind of like that ran its course, and we started to make songs that weren't quite like that. But also, we were like a little overwhelmed by playing with our drummer, because he was a lot to take. And then we left him for 5 months, and then brought him back because he was too damn good a drummer to. We decided he was fine to take, but better drums. So I think that's kind of how it started. And then Dwayne and Russell were playing together for a little while before it even started.
Well, Interstate 10 got back on tour with Boilermaker. We got back on tour, I think, the Sunshine Tour. And then Dwayne and I were hanging out, and we were like, we don't like anyone in our band. And so why don't we start something? And I was like, I've been listening. I was like, did you get that free tape of Spiritualized at Off the Record? And I was like, man, let's go back to Spaceman 3 style. And we did. And then Michelle joined, and then Brian from Spanakorzo joined. And and then like I do with every band I've ever been in, I'm like, we have a show in a month.
Let's go. Well, I guess we're doing this.
That's basically every single project I've ever been in. It's been that way, and and Jason bringing us all together. It's funny that within a week arguing, apparently I get a lot of blame.
Really? You don't say.
Hey, well, listen. If it's let's push the noise.
Well, as I said before, all of these bands have been reuniting, but literally all these bands broke up for a reason, and most of the time it's because they didn't get along. So now 25 years later, they've all got kids or families or whatever, and now we're like pushing them all back into these spaces that they haven't been in for 25, 30 years, and being like,
immediate a band fight, and we're not even a band. Immediately a band fight over something that
a week.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, you'll want to think there's maybe some emotional growth over time, but also.
Come on, please, no.
As I say, also it is musicians. So.
Yeah.
No, we hold that. Well, that was fun.
It's funny just because, I kind of just missed you guys. Like I played shows with Dwayne when I was in Replicator, when he was in Drop Science. Like sometime, but it was all a few years before, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, hey, let's try to play a show with that band. Oh, they broke up. That was always a big thing. It's like, oh, that band's
I
gone.
don't think so. Didn't Dwayne play in Drop Science afterwards?
Oh, yeah.
But Michelle played in Drop Science as well.
I did not play with Drop Science when you played in Drop Science. I don't think.
I only played shows with Drop Science. I was trying to think of Dwayne though. I thought Dwayne was in Drop Science after camera.
After camera, yes, and that's
okay.
So that's how I know
Oh
Dwayne.
yeah, I get it. Okay.
And I actually just saw Demetrius for when he played San Diego in September. So that was nice blast.
And
pass.
we love him.
Yeah, good dude.
Demetrius.
Yeah.
Love him. Love him to death. And he has a good setup if you skate.
Yeah.
I do not skate. I'm not allowed to skate.
Me neither, but it looks great.
No. Lark would, I jumped on a skateboard and it was it didn't go well. You know, it's just, like Lark says, I'm good at some things.
Yeah.
and skating is not one of them.
Okay. Well, having nothing to do with skating, I like that there's the reissue. You've heard of this? The Camera Obscura reissue? To change the shape of an envelope?
I think
is it envelope
Pete did
or
a great
envelope?
job.
I think
well,
I say envelope.
Yeah, I say
I think it
envelope.
flows better.
It depends where you're at in the world.
Right.
No, it's envelope. Well, here's actually the funny
Sonny
thing
did a great
about-
job with the artwork.
So
Of
good.
course it did.
Yeah.
And yes, Sonny's the best, and he's a perfectionist. And I will just real quick, he did our wedding invites, and Lark being introduced to Sonny, of her getting all these text or voicemails of, "Hi Lark, it's Sonny. Destroy them all." I hate them. I'm like, we can't. This,
like, what do you destroy them all? What are you talking about?
I don't, because artists are crazy.
Yeah, wow.
and it's, I don't know. And Michelle had a lot to do with the cover art as well, and I just, all of us together were like more rabbits.
Well, how did that come to pass, and why did it come to pass? Maybe might be the better question too.
With the art, or it's just us?
Yeah,
together.
I guess from a larger perspective, sure, the whole thing. I was specifically talking about the art, but
well, we had asked Sonny because we felt like Sonny was kind of the only person that could do it. We talked to a couple of friends, but I don't know. Sonny knows us. We've been on tour with him a bunch. Russell and Sonny are like best friends, and Sonny is Sonny. You know, I mean, he's Sonny, so we knew he would get it. I worked with him. I actually created some mood boards based on what Russell and Dwayne and I had talked about, and Bill, our drummer.
I'm just going on the record. I don't know what the fuck a mood board is, and I don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah, don't worry.
Let the record show. ...
Just what the fuck is a mood board? Like, all right, go.
I know what a mood board
is.
In
the creative industry, and Russell works in sound, so he just shouts, and I listen and put together mood boards for this.
Exactly. Everybody has their own strengths, right? So
yeah, we all have our own input. So yeah, Sonny and I just worked on it together. We had a little bit of different initial cover, and then as Russell said, I was like, we need rabbits in this thing.
Right.
And so then we added more rabbits, and I don't know if anyone knows what I'm talking about. So
yeah, I'm going to throw it up on the. Oh, there you go. That you have the actual thing. So
yeah,
this is yeah, and again, this is the part where the audio listeners are like, what the hell are they looking at? But this is the record cover. So
we're looking at our record cover, and it's on red vinyl in this photo, but we also have it on white vinyl, which is kind of a like backtrack to our original record, which was all white, out on Trouble Man way back in the day.
Trouble Man, yeah.
Yeah, I think you got some Trouble Man bands on here too. I don't know if anyone knows who Trouble Man is anymore, but
well, if anyone's ever at Mike Simonetti's, just go to the freezer, because his mom she makes the best food and she freezes it, and it takes a year to thaw.
It really does.
Is this like it almost looks like a lino cut or like a woodcut kind of thing?
I think it was just a collage. So okay. I don't think he actually drew these pieces. He like pulled together pieces kind of recreated them and made them into these like forms.
Sonny is the king
then,
of collage. His book is sick.
And then the back part I think is actually hand drawn. So like the part that looks like a line of cut, like I think that's actually like a hand drawn square thing. So
no, it's it's super cool looking. Like it's
I love it. I think it's one of the better records I've seen for covers in all of these.
Are you sure? Are you sure not the one that's just white?
None more white.
Oh my God! I mean, the reason why we had a white record was we couldn't come. None of us could agree, and I was like, "Fuck it, it should just be white." And with the name, and that's ended up what we did. And I still don't know why we did white vinyl. Like,
why not?
Well,
I need to. I should. You know what? Because I never read the text. I should read the text.
There you
the
go.
2,000 texts.
Oh my God, Russell.
It's a lot of text.
I swear he's not drunk.
I'm not.
This is just his personality.
This is how he is. Yeah. Well, but you guys, it was only what 24 months, but it was a pretty good.
It's pretty
run
solid
of time.
months,
I mean,
I think so.
You had like you played lots of like great shows. Like Fugazi, right? Bon
right off the
Redhead.
bat.
Yeah. Like it's.
I was gonna say back to like the skateboarding thing. One thing that always struck out with me with our first tour, and I've said this so many times, and he hates it. Dwayne hates the fact that he was actually a very famous pro skater.
Mm-hmm.
And on our first tour, a lot of people came because of Russell's old band, but a lot of people came because Dwayne was in it. And they came with like their skateboards to sign, their like Thrasher magazines to sign. I had no idea. I didn't even know he was a skateboarder.
Wow. Yeah,
and
I'm
I was
not
like,
really...
why are all these people here with your autograph? And I thought it was great. He hates talking about it, but
the tour you didn't go on, the roadie was a pro BMXer, so we would hear skateboards on one side, and skateboarders. Here's what I found out because I don't know this world, but skateboarders get the girls and the money. BMXers just get like they get an Unsane video,
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
that was our roadie. Our roadie is the only one in that video called Scrape.
Yeah, I rewatched the AMREP documentary not that long ago. And that was
Hazel.
Yeah.
I lived in we lived in Minneapolis for a little bit. Yeah, the AMREP folks. There's something. Love them to death because they're from the Midwest. But anyway, let's proceed.
Thank you. I appreciate you giving me permission to proceed.
Let's proceed, Conan Neutron.
Yeah. Okay, I will. Thank you. You give me a special dispensation. But I think that there's something very interesting about the band. Like it kind of like catches the attention immediately. It was something where it was like very dark. Like, and I think a lot of times like the Michelle, I thought your synth like definitely like helped with that for sure, because there was a era where suddenly we were hearing hardcore bands that like had like synth stuff going on, and like that kind of hit in a different way and allowed different like almost like new wave sensibilities to come in, but still have it be like aggressive and urgent in the moment. What's your background with? Had you because you played in a band before, right, Michelle? This was not your first band.
I briefly played in Swing Kids.
Okay, right, sure.
Shortwave Channel.
Yeah, Shortwave Channel.
Shortwave Channel. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And I've had Pearson on. It's been a long time ago as well. But it's funny because I feel like all the San Diego stuff.
Who's she?
It's all like very interconnected. Like there's like just a web of you start like unraveling the thread, and then like there's someone like Mario where it's like, oh my God, he's just like connected to everyone. Like forget it, you'll never get through it.
And Mario's connection is actually kind of weird because it's like it's almost later. Like he started playing in a lot of these bands, like multiple bands, like a little bit later.
Yeah.
But the San Diego connection was so interspersed and like so, I don't know, like even Shortwave Channel prior to me being in it was Danny, and Danny was in Dwayne's band Interstate 10.
Yeah.
And they're not even from San Diego, so they all showed up and like took over all the like Shortwave Channel. I thought prior to me being it was just like the most excellent band. I just thought they were amazing, and I had never heard anything like that at the time. And you know, I had come from like a very snobby San Diego scene where I was like, who are these guys? What are they doing with their amazing music?
Yeah.
And
first of all, how dare you?
then,
Secondly, how do I do it?
We won't talk about the first show that you saw.
The first show I saw was at the Wrench. Oh yeah, we want to talk about that. The show is great.
Yeah.
They were on Wrench Records, which was Ian and Grant from Spanakorzo's record label.
Oh no, it was this
or Brian.
Record label. Yeah, it was Boilermaker, Shortwave, Spanakorzo, and I-10, and I can't remember Brian's brother's band name, something. Whatever. I'm old.
Yeah.
But
then even from there, like John Brady played bass in Swing Kids, and he played bass in Spanakorzo. So there's always been like this incestuous San Diego community, and starting from like back in heroin days. And
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But the time that we were around, it was the most humble little pocket with when we were touring, it was Shortwave, Blackheart, Tristeza, Las Juanitas.
Yeah.
You know.
Back when Juanitas were in San Diego. That's right. Yeah. That first record. Yeah. Man,
Shortwave, we had the craziest fucking tour with them. Tried sharing a van, not a bus.
Oh wow.
With a band called Juanitas.
Yeah.
You know there's no showering. Yeah.
No.
You can smell Brian Giles' guitar riffs and other things.
Oh,
computer.
Brian. God, what was his band? It was Party Time.
Party Time. Yeah. Played a few shows with Party Time.
Yeah.
They
were great.
The proto Red Fang.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Although I remember my first note was with them. As much as I love them, I was like, oh, the singer's doing the thing where he plays guitar and then he puts the guitar down, then he picks the guitar back up. It's like, just put all the songs where you're, just put it all together. Don't keep putting it, like, who are you, Sloan?
Yeah,
Stop it.
That is super annoying.
But they were great.
Yeah. You're talking to the two most impatient people.
But stellar band. Not very long-lived.
I mean, listen to our music. It's very impatient.
Right.
It's all linear. It's very linear.
Very urgent. So going back to, that's like 98, right? It's like 98 or so.
Yeah. Probably.
Like 97, 98.
Cool. And do the songs come very quickly? Is it like a quick process?
I think so. I think
it was very easy.
Yeah.
We wrote songs like Running Water. Like it was easy. Yeah. But we all are very like, we were into frequencies, and we'd write it, but we'd be like, let's make it more fucked up. And I love long endings.
Right.
But yeah, it just kind of, we did it really quick. We traveled more than we were able to rehearse, and that's all on me. Because you said
urgent, and when Russell was younger, and I'm sure still now too, it's like he definitely to me felt like he was always on a ticking time bomb, like this urgency to create, this urgency to play music. Even with his bass playing, I mean, he played like he plays like it's a guitar. And so, Bill on top of that, our drummer, like his insane, aggressive, like basically he plays until it's time to have a drink. Like he's just playing until he can start drinking. And like, he's got to get through it. It's got to be hard. He's pissed. Like he's got to wait till 5 o'clock, and that fucking sucks. So like, to me, those two elements combined totally created like that sense of intensity and urgency and like really different musicality than was around at that time. And then with Dwayne just really loved My Bloody Valentine and like these big sonic bands, and so he just wanted to like wail on his guitar. And honestly, I was just trying to keep up all the time.
Well, and that's what led it to have kind of a unique voice too. Everyone's just kind of bringing whatever they bring to it, and it's something that can be a thrilling blender of that makes a great smoothie. You know,
It's a good smoothie. I think we're a good smoothie.
How
health
do you
smoothie.
make it? How do you make a smoothie at home? Do you have one of those Vitamixes? Can I make?
You got to get a Vitamix.
Oh yeah, they're great. That's a great investment. Got one as a gift. I was like, I never would have got this for myself, but as a
We
gift,
just-
The trick is to use the little stick that goes in.
yeah. The what do they call
Brother,
it?
it was a wedding gift.
The Ram Jam.
We popped that thing out like 10 years after because we were trying to make a stew, and a cauliflower stew.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, it was awesome. But yeah, Lark, I was like, I know we have a
If you
vitamin.
use your Vitamix to use with cauliflower, then there's something horrible going on.
What are we even
over
doing
here?
here?
That's
Right?
the
Listen,
easiest thing you can do.
I'm a juicer. I'm
Yeah.
a juicer. Hey, what was his name? Jack LaLanne. He punched me in the belly. Remember
right.
that?
I do remember that.
Yeah, he punched me in the belly.
Filmed something, and he
Yeah, it was a
and he
fucking
punched Russell in the
infomercial
belly.
right when I
Yeah.
started. And I will tell you this: when Juice jumped on his wife's onesie, and I had to go in and change the mic because it was an A2 at the time, and the whole room was filled with mirrors, and she dropped out, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, you don't want to get old.
That's some story.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was pretty traumatizing if I can remember correctly.
It was,
I forgot about that. Yeah, he really punched Russell right in the stomach.
he did.
Was it? Did you see it coming or what? Like, what was it? Was it just?
No, he's quick like lightning.
That's sort of his whole brand identity, I guess. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I
Right?
think that's like his whole thing.
Motherfucker, like fucking, what did he swim?
It's
like
good to be known for
canal?
something, I guess. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was a big thing. It was, yeah.
Well, anyway, what are we talking about?
I have no idea. Well, we were
Talking about
talking
your ferality, actually. So.
Hey, easy. Again, another 5-cent word.
we were talking about the different influences of the band coming together, and so how do you, when you record, because again there's the first couple 7 inches first, right, and before the record. So
Yeah, the first one was we're going on tour. We got to record, and we're going to Gars, which I'm just going to go on the record. The House of Wood is mine. Anybody who puts that on a record, that was mine. House of Wood. But Gar, we would always go to him, and the last 7-inch, we went to him when he was leaving to go on a fishing trip, and we talked to him. Who wears a fishing hat when they're walking to their car? Like, he was ready.
he had his gear on, huh?
Yeah, he was geared up,
Yeah.
and we knocked
Man likes
out
to
those two songs for In Sound and Tiger
yeah.
Style. Tiger Style was
Tiger Style, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
we were supposed to do a split with Tony Joy's band, Convocation of.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
And
right.
and we were going to record with them after the Tristeza release, and but Dwayne and I we played basketball with them in the middle of, it was like New York style, and people surrounded, and Dwayne and I were wearing drain pipes and tight old man dress shoes. They killed us. They brought gear.
Right.
They brought like a duffel bag, and Dwayne and I were like, "Oh man, we're
It's
definitely
like the
lose."
Charlie Murphy Prince.
Yeah,
Is that why the record didn't happen? Because you guys lost at basketball?
no,
It was like a
Maybe.
bet?
what if that was the case?
Great story. Yeah.
Well, we
Wasn't
lost.
it also Tony Joy's house that we were at when the feds raided across the street?
Yeah,
Oh,
no. That was Ian
Michelle May's
Savonis'
house, Ian Savonis' house. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we recorded a couple of those beginning. Gars from Fishwife, and I can't remember what other bands Gars in. He's in a band with John
Hot
Reese too,
Snakes.
right?
Tanner.
He's
Oh
in
yeah,
Hot
of
Snakes.
course. Sorry.
And
Tanner is the only reason why I moved
Night
to San
Marchers too.
Diego.
Night Marchers is an underrated band.
Oh,
Night
that's
Marchers.
right.
Yeah, because Fisher was on tour with Tanner, and anyway.
Russell's first
But
band toured with Gar's band way back in the day, and that's why Russell ended up moving out to San Diego from Iowa
no,
or from Omaha.
Omaha, but it was Chris Squire. He's the one who's like, and that's where I moved into that weird train spotting house with the dude with the vermin tattooed across his neck.
Cool.
The PB Vermin, whatever. I don't know any of these people. And my first night, Chris was in there, and they took me to the beach, and I'm wearing my drain pipes and my Nation of Ulysses outfit, like so tight, and all these dudes with the board shorts, and and doing meth, and I'm like, oh man, I made a mistake. Like, why did I move to San Diego?
It's like that smash cut in the movie. Where, it's like a montage.
It was Grant Bernero is the one who talked me into it. I had the boys from like Guzzard, I think, asked me to move to Minneapolis to play bass, and I was like, I'm moving. And Grant is the one who he was like, listen, you should. I don't know what Shortwave Channel is, but it's strange. You should stick with it, and that's what we did.
There you go.
There we go. And
that's the story of Jesus, but really, it's a story of rock and roll.
It is a story of birth, I suppose.
Yeah.
Birth of Russell and Danny's friendship.
Loved him.
Yeah.
Very strange boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
We won't talk about.
Let's get back on track.
So for the record, were you doing?
You know, this could be a 10-hour.
Oh,
podcast.
I know. Oh yeah, you should have do it when I had Mario on. I swear I had this years ago. Like we were doing it really late too. I was like, we're gonna at least talk briefly about every one of your bands. It was exhausting. Yeah. I wasn't having a good time with it, really, even though it was informative. And then we spent about an hour just BSing about records.
Conan, are you having a good time now?
Oh yeah, I'm having a blast. Yeah, that's great. I just want people that are just like, I just want information about the record, not hearing about like, I don't know what this is. But
so here's the information about the record.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
The re-release or the original record?
Well, what I want to get into is like, were you
shoot us with some questions?
I will, if you let me speak, I'll do that. I was gonna say, did you tour test the songs first and then record, or is it something where like the songs? Okay, so that's.
I think kind of both. There's a couple songs on the record that we had never gone on tour with. I think, and then the rest we had. I think there's like 2 on there that we hadn't gone on tour with.
We never played Cinematech live ever.
Never played Cinematech. Yeah.
Oh well, no, we did, but at the Shea.
Which is still around, right? It's still going. Right?
Yeah,
I think so. I mean,
God, we shouldn't know about it, but like, yeah.
Well, I was living in San Diego, and Russell and my friend's daughter played there, which was like
that's awesome.
Such a weird experience. And in fact, that's the first time I'd gone to a show in San Diego. I went to the Casbah. It's the first time I've been to the Casbah in like 15 years because I'd been gone for so long. And I went to see like my friend's daughter play, and it was like that freaked me out.
Time before last week came through.
Think about Jesse. I mean, could you imagine? From
who's Jesse? Our Jesse?
From Champagne Kiss. Yeah.
Oh.
What was it? What the? No, but when they play. What was his band? His band now?
Motion City Soundtrack.
Yeah, and he was like, it's the daughters of the mothers to the mothers, because they're like a Jimmy Eat World type.
Well, I can imagine that's how the Faint is now too. I'm sure like all their kids go. Yeah. You know, like everyone goes with their kids.
Maybe. I think they're
That'd be a good show for a kid. I can imagine. I mean, they'd probably be spooked by Todd.
I think they're I don't know. I think usually Faint shows are there's always it recycles. I think it's because that's a good band live. Remember when we saw them the first time at the Velvet?
It was the best show ever. It was the best show ever, honestly.
We were walking from Zen Gorilla to the Faint, and that's when we won't talk about that. The dead person.
Stop.
Zen Gorilla, I like seeing Marcus play with Wayne Kramer and Brendan Canty
Oh.
and Bill Gould and Kim
Yeah.
Thayil and do all the MC5 stuff. I felt really
that's
special
cool.
to be able to see that. I was like, wow.
We had
This dude's as
we
old
went
as
to
my
some
dad.
gorilla-
He's like
Oh,
ruling it.
Brendan, yeah.
He's
I
doing
love Brendan.
windmills and
Brendan
stuff.
Canty is the shit.
Yeah.
And he told me the funniest story when, well, you're not from the Midwest. There used to be a place called the Outhouse. And when Shortwave was on tour with Juanita's, and we wouldn't play because there was a dead dog in where you had to load your gear, and Lana totally freaked out. I was talking to Brendan when we were doing the shows with Fugazi, and he was like, yeah, when we played there first, the flyer was a pig with Ian's head on it.
Wow.
Doing something not awesome. And because the fucking thing was it was an outhouse in the middle of a cornfield.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
terrifying.
exactly. Yeah.
That place is terrifying.
Well, I played a place called The Shed in Palmer, Massachusetts, which I thought was like the name of the club. No, it was literally a kid's shed. And if you had to go to the bathroom, you had to like go into the house, and he's like, "Oh, are you one of whoever's friends?" Like, "Oh, yeah."
The scary places.
I was like, "Oh, it's literally a shed, huh?" Okay.
I will
cool.
tell you this: Michelle and I played. Bill and I played this in North Dakota.
Yeah.
When it was, God, what was that boy's name? The noise artist?
Jesse?
No, God, it was JP's friend, I think, and your friend.
Yeah, I'm like.
But anyway, anyway, long story short, we played in a house in North Dakota.
Oh, Jason! It was Jason.
Jason
Rose?
Wade.
Jason Wade.
But we played in the basement. Anyway, we get to our van. It doesn't start. I go in. Not only does, what was that boy's name? Had an entire screwdriver into his penis. And the girl, Michelle, ironically enough, that took your place at the Jerry Springer.
Christine actually was her name.
Oh, well, she was blowing fire. And I'm like, can I use your phone? This is before cell phones. And is it a donut, or is it, what was the other one? You and Bill.
Let's go back to not the inside jokes.
Well, anyway, sure.
Quite the tale. Anyway, that's yeah. In summary, tour is crazy. So the record. Let's do this the thing where we go through the record, because this is an awesome release. So I want to make sure that we're giving its due diligence. Why don't we Why don't we do the thing where we go through each of the songs, and you can tell me take turns of just telling me, like, where the song title came from, where appropriate, like lyrics, stories, recording it, whatever. No wrong answer. Just give a little context for the songs. And Michelle, you'll kick us off. So
Russell
Trigger
wrote
System.
pretty much all of the lyrics for all of the songs, and he named most of them. I think Dwayne also had some input on, like, I think he sang on a lot of these as well. I think Trigger System is one of them. I actually have a really bad memory, so I don't remember like how all of these came together. Typically how we would write is Russell and I would actually, like, he would come to me and like we would write together at home. Mm-hmm. And then he would go sometimes and write with Dwayne. And then we would like kind of come together at the end with like different parts and try to like put them together with Bill. And which is, I think, really interesting in the sense of like, I think that's why a lot of our songs have like 4 different, like distinctly different parts. Like it'll go from like one type of song to like a fully other type of song, all within the same song. And I think that's because we were always like, very much like just trying to put all this stuff together in different ways. And so I don't remember so much about Trigger System, but Theory on Sex is an Art Form, I think, was like one of our first songs that we wrote. Is that right?
I can't remember, but
and I think Trigger System is actually one of the last songs that we wrote.
Basically all the songs are about their love, hurtful drug songs. And Trigger System, I can literally tell you exactly why I wrote it. and it was Shortwave. We were in tour and playing Clunk Records, and Michelle was talking to her mom, and she said, "Oh, my mom wants to talk to you." And she said, her friend died. And I knew that I held this piece of plastic that held the worst pain in the world to give to someone. And I had to. And it was Eric Allen. And San Diego was a very unique little gathering of friends, and it's about all of us turning on each other during a very intense moment, because we've seen it a lot. That city is, that's what it is. But yeah, that's what that song is about. So I'm not a lyricist in any which way, shape, or form, but yeah, I remember it 25 years later.
How about Cinematheque?
That's Michelle's song.
Yeah, I think I wrote that song because it's like a pretty piano-based.
Yeah, it's very keyboardy.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was just messing around, and I wanted something that was gonna like accelerate in sound. The interesting thing about our record, not this release, but the actual, like the first release, Russell and I owned a store, like an actual physical store. I owned a beauty store when I was much younger.
That's awesome.
And
that's the name.
What is the name?
The name was called Viva La Diva. And this was way, way, way back when, like it was in the 90s. So there wasn't really anything like it. It was like a makeup and skincare and home store.
Awesome.
And it was a little boutique in Hillcrest. It was awesome. It was right across the street from Bread and C, which was like the bakery coffee shop that like everyone worked at. So the whole neighborhood was really just filled with like friendship. And I don't know, it was just like such a unique time. I'm sure everyone that listens to this podcast has had that 90s like experience of just this. Everyone knows everybody. You go out to this one part of town or whatever, and you're going to see everybody. But anyways, the point being that we had to record a lot of the record in segments because Russell and I couldn't leave the store at the same time.
Like somebody needed to be literally minding the store.
Someone had to literally mind the store.
Yeah.
And also, I think Dwayne and Bill probably had.
Don't you remember with JP and everyone would fill in? Right.
Yeah. When we went on tour, like Justin Pearson was working at the store for me. Dwayne's girlfriend worked there. Like it was such a weird collection of characters, and especially because it was like literally a bougie high-end boutique, and I had like all these punkers working there.
Right. It's all these punk rockers.
Yeah, it's like all these punk rockers who didn't, and so it really made no sense. But to me, it made sense. To Russell, it made sense. We just did that. So that's actually when Russell talks about the tour I wasn't on. I actually stayed home one tour. And I pre-recorded my parts on MIDI, and they played to like my pre-recording for a whole tour, or as I like to say, their fun tour, because that's all I heard how fun it was. So with Cinematheque, and I think also with sound too, I was there for a little while by myself because Dwayne and Bill were at work or whatever, and Russell just left the studio, came over, and we swapped places. And so some of the piano parts I just kept adding, and maybe Russell or somebody else, maybe Dwayne came back, I can't remember, but we just kept trying to add like more layers to it so that it would eventually build. Sure. And then I had to kind of relearn it for playing live because it didn't sound the same because it was just like, me. So, and we hadn't really played that out too much.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of hard to get that many layers.
Yeah,
the presence for it,
And so it was I always loved that song. I thought it was really beautiful, and I was really proud of it. I remember when it came out.
Well, it's nice in that 2 slot too. That's a good song to have like right after the intro. What were we gonna say, Russell?
I was just saying that we did everything in one take in most of those songs. I wish we would have well, it's not really ourselves, but
no,
to take time, but
It's that sense of urgency, I think, what you're saying before.
Yeah.
Like I was always pushing them to kind of slow down and
it's rad
more. Let's wait for tour. But these guys are like, no, we're going.
Let's do it. Let's do it right now. Yeah.
Well, yeah, yeah, and that trip was a good thing you weren't there.
Yeah.
I doubt you wanted to hang out in the back of a U-Haul driving to Chicago to do it.
True.
What was it? We did like a set with like, what is it, 98 Men? I think they're playing again.
I think they are.
Yes. Well, they're I
think
yes.
they played.
Rob Lowe. Yeah, that's right. I always forget it's the other Rob Lowe.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, they did well because they got their rights back from Southern and did some with Numero. I think if I remember correctly, a couple years back.
Yeah, I think so.
Vaguely What's Numero?
Numero Group.
That's Numero Group who did Unwound.
Yeah, they did all the Unwound stuff. It's like
I only know Solid Brass.
I was gonna say I had a good one. I was gonna say they were the post-punk Ryko disc, but like whatever. Moment passed. It's all right. Solid Brass, yeah. Solid Brass is the same thing. No, but it's the same deal where it's like, let's go find these records that are out of print or never given a really deluxe release, and they find them and they do that. And
I heard numerous people like, I never really tell Michelle or Dwayne, but yes, I've had calls from numerous people, which is so asinine. And but Solid Brass seemed to be the most punk, and it's just a no-brainer. Like,
and he's doing it out of love too. And like look at the
But I mean, just no, it couldn't been any more perfect if we were gonna. I mean, who's gonna buy this fucking thing anyway? But I love that.
There's quite the sale pitch. Yeah.
But if they do, I mean, it's a sick rock and roll record.
Well, you might be surprised. Like, as speaking of someone who still actively does tour, like people get into, and sometimes really get into, a lot of music around this era, and do actively seek it out. Yeah, I mean,
Jason told me it's called Scrams. That's why I say Scrams on everything, because he said they call our music Scrams.
Yeah, way better than.
I never thought we'd be right around in 2025 and hear bands that sound like Carp, but here we are.
Yeah,
it's like,
oh god, yeah.
Why not? Sure.
I think that's great.
And if they could just do the Carp Rice split, it would be sick.
That would be great. Yeah, that's something that seems like everybody wants. But.
Similarly, story about Rye. I'm not gonna repeat it, but it is funny. Like,
That's quite the tease. Here, I know something really funny that I'm not going to tell you. Great.
I think, to be honest with you, I think anyone who's around like that time period has a really crazy story about Ride Coalition, and it's usually not great.
Yeah. God, do you remember when they played at the fucking where we used to practice? They played a show in
the vault.
Yeah, the vault. We played. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know. I've always liked Rye.
Great band.
I love Rye.
Yeah, great band.
Yeah.
I like all the eras of Rye. Actually, I was very surprised. We played with them right as they sort of turned into Grand Funk Railroad, and I wasn't aware that they had done that. But I was like, I did not expect
that was a trippy
this.
time, right?
I was like, that was great. I didn't expect that at all. I heard like one song that I knew, and I heard a bunch of AC/DC.
God, do you remember the fucking?
But it kicked ass.
Did VSS do a split? They did.
With Rye?
Yeah.
With Rye.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor and ask Sonny how he feels about that.
That was because that had the one that was Beautiful Posture.
I don't know. It was like it's like a silly cover or something. It's really thick. but
Anyways, I want to say also, so going back to the record, Russell.
Yeah. The one that we're supposed to be talking about. Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, the one we're supposed to be talking about and selling. No, just kidding.
Right.
Actually, you know what? To be honest, that's what I love about being on Solid, like working with Jason, is because, like you said, it's totally a labor of love. And I'm like, who's going to buy all these records? Like, I mean, the thing with Numero Group and stuff. Some of those, I'm like, yeah, I would put out an Unwound record if I had the money too, because that thing's going to blow up. But
yeah,
I love that Jason
like,
finds like
crazy big now. Like the kids love Unwound, which is
good.
Jason literally went and picked up. Go ahead, tell us, sir. The palette.
Oh yeah. No, our records came in yesterday for him. Like they came on the pallets yesterday in the truck, and ours and I think Kerosene 454, and the truck fell over in a ditch. And he told the delivery driver told him he wouldn't be there for like 3 hours, and so Jason was like, "Fuck that!" So he like got in his car and picked up these pallets on the side of the road, and like he has a picture. I put it on our Instagram today. It has a picture of like the truck in the ditch. So that's how badass Jason is.
That's a dedication. Find you a label guy that'll do that.
Yeah,
just saying. Let me see if I can find that. You said it was on the old IG. You say?
I put it on our Instagram today because I was like, he sent us that picture like late last night, and I was like, oh my god, this guy.
What a guy! That's amazing. Let's see.
He's a good pop-up.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah. Absolutely. Hold on. Theory on sex as an art form. Let's keep this somewhat on track here.
Well, here's this story. Well,
what a lead up!
I can't wait to hear.
This girl stalked me and used to live underneath my car when I lived in an apartment across the street from Scott Bartolini. And it was Danny, Ian from Spanakorzo, and myself lived in one room, and in the other room was Bill and that girl with the mohawk. But this girl stalked me, and I wrote her a story, and this is the lyrics. And so that's it.
Well, I don't even think I knew that, so maybe you can tell us the lyrics.
Yeah. Lay it on.
I'm not saying you're out of your mind. Come on. But yes, that's the lyrics is what I wrote to her who lived underneath my car, and that is a bad scene. Being stalked.
Getting stalked. Yeah,
it's not great.
Yeah, that's that. Baby Reindeer. I'd like watching it. I had like weird like feelings watching it.
I haven't. Is that good? I've not seen it. I heard it's great.
It's fantastic.
Okay.
And terrifying. I'm not gonna ever say her name, but yeah, being stalked sucks.
Yeah,
and no, it's not great. But that's the origin of those lyrics.
So we'll go back to the record in a second, but I just want to throw on again. Sorry for the audio listeners. Here's the picture of the truck.
There's a picture of the truck in the ditch. I guess I kind of put my words over where it was really falling over, but basically he went over there and just grabbed those pallets.
Yeah.
And brought him home.
Craziness. Yeah. But that's dedication right there.
Yeah.
Sarasota, tell me about this one.
Sarasota, I don't know about the lyrics, but I know that Twain and I were not there for Russell recording the lyrics, and we came back and we were just like blown away. This was not a song that we had played before recording, I believe. And, or maybe we had played it, but we hadn't really heard Russell sing these lyrics. And it was just like such a different direction on sound that on vocal style that, I mean, I was like, I just thought it was amazing. I loved it.
Oh, thank you.
So tell me about the lyrics. How did you have them ready and just waited for them to leave, or what was the scene?
Oh, well, the scene is it was a short story kind of based off Animal Farm.
Okay,
and like a real escape from New York and my distaste for Florida, that I thought Sarasota was the worst place I've ever been. I thought it would be a story. It'd be a very like Handmaid's Tale, like that's prison, and it just was a short story.
Yeah.
You know, God, you remember when you were in your 20s when you used to just write short stories, and that was it. No one ever questioned me. Here's the thing: we all wrote our own lyrics. We adopted that from Shortwave. We all wrote our own lyrics, and that's how Camera was. We just kind of like wrote our own stories, and 6 songs.
I don't think they've ever
For sure.
really discussed all the lyrics on most of these.
Ever.
You know that,
right? Yeah.
I think, was it Sarasota that we had to pull over? Like there was like a freak snowstorm, and we had to pull over because we really couldn't see like more than a foot in front of us, and we ended up at a gas station. And in the back of the gas station, there was a tiger in a cage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And apparently that's not so uncommon in that area. Was that Sarasota? I can't remember, but it was in Florida.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I mean,
it was pretty awful.
Our tours were never boring. Like they were always
No.
Sure.
they were
There
so
were always
absolutely fucking insane that I get it, and that's why 24 months. That's actually good for a San Diego band. 24
Yeah,
months.
I know. We were kind of around for a long time considering San Diego.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
There was always too, like Russell especially had always like these wire. I mean, everyone did like back then. You know, you had your like wire bound Mead notebook that you carried that was, you know, stories and lyrics and drawing, and like you just brought it to the studio and you found like the page that you just scribbled off something half-assed in the middle of the night, you know, and there was just like tons of those all over the place in our house. And
oh no, we got to do it. Let's. Okay, fine. Yeah. Do it before you, right before you have to record it. Yeah.
Well, sometimes, but I mean, like, there's just always ideas flowing through that way, you know? And I actually kind of feel bad for bands when they tour now, because I'm like, you guys are just on your phones the whole time. You miss all of the, like, the crazy life stuff that goes with being on tour.
Can I tell you, as a person who does the lion's share of the driving, yes. Amen. Say on, because that's sort of like, oh my God, this is like, you know, you're driving through Nebraska or something. Everyone's just like, you know, doom scrolling or whatever. It's like, hey, heard any good jokes lately? Please, anyone?
There's nothing that's going to bring out your creativity or your craziness more than being bored.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
For us, like we toured for some reason. Well, I know the reason, it's Russell, but we toured every January. And we never decided to tour in a warm climate. I mean, like we did sometimes, but like we decided to do these like 6-week-long tours in January, every single January for every band we were ever in. And so, and that's like in an old van. Yeah, no heat in the van, low, like shitty vans falling apart, like, you know, not drive from like Seattle to Iowa City. If I think I'd be so mad if people were just on their phones for like that 19-hour drive. Like, fuck that.
No, it was always Phoenix to Austin.
Replicator always ended up in Phoenix in August, which is sort of the other end of that problem, which is when you don't have the AC. I don't know. I was like, why are we always in Phoenix in August? I don't understand. But I was, you know, that's the way it goes sometimes.
I think also two people like were in school at that time, maybe. So like,
that'll do it.
You know, summer break and winter break. I don't know, but it was that put a lot of our creativity to the test, and like a lot of our.
Well, a lot of, I mean, pretty fucking awesome. Like you're on the road, traveling the world, playing music in your 20s, when you could, you know, and those days are over. you know, like we're stoked. And to jump into a time machine to look back on something that you did, like I'm almost half the age of this record. I mean,
Right.
Twice the
Crazy.
age.
Michelle's like 55. No, I saw it.
I'm the baby in the band.
No, you're not.
That's
well,
so
anyway.
true. You guys all turned 50 way
Just
before
because
I
you wear big glasses. Jeez. Anyway.
All right. Settle down. Yeah, but going back to a record this is the 25th anniversary of.
Yeah.
Right. Crazy that, like, you know, it's a punk rock record. Here we are 25 years later, you know.
What if it gets big? Like,
I know. That would be so
nice.
funny. I talked about that. I was like, what if
it would
this
be
just, like, blows up?
horrible. It would be horrible. Like if this got popular. Like,
You never know, man. Weirder stuff's happened. I don't know.
could you imagine it would have to play? Would be like Out of Voices.
Yeah, you think that would be that'd be a bit of a pull? You think?
I would say Sonic Youth, but yeah, that would There's no way we're gonna ever remember these parts.
Yeah. There's no way. I tried I listened to it one time when we started talking about it, like maybe we'll play, maybe we'll do something, and then like I listened for like 5 minutes. I was like, "There's no way!" Like,
yeah, if someone put a gun to my head and said, "Hey, what's different between 49 and 29?" I can't remember those band parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was, you know, Red Scare did a reissue, and they're actually arguing.
I know we love the Kippers.
And yeah, that was hilarious because basically, as I was going through all the songs with them, it was like, yeah, this one's real hard to play. I'm exhausted every time. Every song was like that.
Yeah.
Lark and I took Kip to an industrial bar that only played like crazy, like White House, like really hard industrial, and he didn't care for it.
Is that the kind of music that Lark likes?
No, but we like to dance, of course.
To White House?
Well, it was. Have you not? Michelle's seen me dance. I'm cutting shapes.
Sounds like quite the time. Tell me about 25 Diamonds. Remember that song?
Well, I do, and it's really gross and depressing, and it's about a time when a drug house, and 25 Diamonds is what we would call the bag, and Seaside, I saw someone basically die in a bathtub, and they would call it Seaside, and yeah, you know, early 20s, risking it for the biscuit, but
Did you just coin that? What is that? I've never heard that phrase before. Is that Protonic Reversal exclusive?
I don't know.
Biscuit for the biscuit?
I don't know. It's a sad story that I wrote, and that's what it is. I'm not saying it's about me. It's just a sad story. I used to like to write stories in my 20s. You know, what are you gonna do?
Fair enough. What are you gonna do? Indeed, Michelle, anything to add? It's hard to cap biscuit for the biscuit.
I don't think I can add biscuit.
Well, the good thing is the next one is Dwayne's song, and we don't have any idea what this song's about. What's
none at all?
No frame of reference of any kind.
We have nothing with this song.
Kings and Queens. What the fuck?
Yeah.
What's he on?
We don't know.
Yeah, this was
what's he rambling about?
Experience.
What's he rambling about this time?
To be honest, actually, that was the first time I'd really heard him like sing like that. I had no idea. He just kind of started screeching, and we were just like, well, okay.
Yeah,
sure.
But the bass line is sick.
Yeah, the bass line is sick. That's true.
It is sick. And Sound was actually a Shortwave Channel song.
Oh,
okay. And we fucked with that and in a way that made it so sonically Mogwai-ish, linear, and it's sad as fuck. And see our friend Mike Goldsby, and I can't remember the other individual he was talking to, but we're dear friend. I mean, in San Diego, these are all people. Like it's an amazing thing that we were alive at that time. Awesome.
Absolutely. And
Did you just look that up, Conan?
I did, yeah. Risk it for the biscuit is a humorous idiom that means to take a risk for a potential reward. It can be used to encourage others to take a risk or to express that you think something is worth the risk. Explanation. The phrase is used to describe a situation where the potential reward outweighs the potential consequences. The biscuit can refer to any pleasurable reward.
I don't think you knew.
Here's
thought you made it up.
The phrase can be used to motivate someone to take action. That's
you took a lot of action.
Conan, why don't you just have us three on every interview?
It's just going to be what the show is. So we just. I've heard worse podcasts.
Wise up.
Well, he did a format change in year 11, and it was surprising that it just
oh my God,
became
We're
biscuit
actually
oriented.
it's a job interview.
Long game. I like it. Closer, something about a nightmare. Tell me about this one.
No, go
so
ahead.
this actually was not on the original record, and this is like an extra for this record. This was on a 3-1G release that we did, and it was our.
But we did it for the InSound.
Is it for InSound or for 3-1G?
No, we did it for InSound. With the faint and the view.
It's hard to overstate like how much of a thing InSound was. Yet
they were
just
huge.
Yeah. But you try to describe it to somebody now, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" Like,
I don't even think I know what it is anymore.
We didn't even have the song.
Yeah,
and we that's when we broke the guards, and basically we wrote it there.
Yeah,
and none of I didn't have any lyrics. We just kind of did what how we do. Something about it.
Yeah, but InSound was like it's crazy. It was a website that people went to basically to talk about and discover music, which is just not a thing that.
Yeah, it's like a website. Tiger Style.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Tiger Style was the record label, and InSound was the website. Yeah.
I saw that CD. I don't have a CD player, but
right.
I saw the CD, and actually, I saw Tristeza had posted the same CD, and I forgot that they did all of those tours.
The Rapture one as well.
Yeah. What were those called?
Well, there was we did one. We did one with the Faint and the View.
Was it just called tour support, or something?
No, it wasn't called tour support. It was called. It sounds.
I think it was called it was called something very. It's very I call it a Planet of the Apes style naming convention, where it's just like the name is the thing, like Planet of the Apes. What do you think this is? It's Planet of Apes.
Yeah.
So therefore, I want to say it was just called tour support series or something.
Conan, how many Planet of the Apes movies are there?
In the original series?
8.
I'm going to say 12.
8.
Okay, so if you count the Burton one, which I don't, but if you're so there's of the new series there's 4 now, and then there's the terrible Tim Burton one, which is 5, and then of the original I think there's 6. Ooh, but they did a TV show.
Yeah.
And they released one of the episodes as a feature-length movie, and they gave it a title and stuff like that. So it gets kind of nebulous because of that.
I said 8. I've literally never seen a Planet of the Apes anything.
Oh, yeah.
No idea.
Well, guess what? Holidays are right around the corner.
You said it very authoritatively. I thought you knew what you were talking about. I was like, wow, okay. Planet of the Apes scholar.
Because of Zillow, we know where she lives.
Right. It's true.
Is it Pierre Boel? I don't know how to say the author's name. I'm curious now, but I don't. I wonder if I could ask. And probably ask AI, right? How many Planet of the Apes movies are there? Oh my! It's literally the first thing. It auto corrected how many Planet of the Apes. It was like, how many Planet of the Apes movies are there? There are 10.
I'm gonna say 10.
There are 10.
Oh,
yeah.
So that's it.
Nice. Now, it's something I've been wondering, Russell. I've been meaning to ask you. Like, did we ever do something with Buddy Head as well?
Yeah.
I just had Travis on again.
Yeah.
About a month and a half ago.
Well, kinda. I
wasn't he involved in the InSound stuff too somehow?
No, we just
like, I feel
with
like
him.
we did something with him.
I can't. But
he didn't do.
Well, yeah. One of those boys is.
Or maybe he was just around a lot or something.
Did you?
I feel like he did something with Buddy Head, but.
Did you ever do stuff with
one
Icarus
of them?
Line? That was.
Oh my God! Was the Icarus Line? Yeah, we had the hard time.
No, we did not.
At the Glass House.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Uncover scene beef.
No scene beef. But come on. I mean, you really gonna bitch about a dressing room? You're not at the Velvet Elvis. Jesus Christ! You're talking to the wrong folks. Like we're smartasses.
That's Joe for you.
Buddy Hitter was the shit, and God, I can't. Yeah, I do know the answer, but
what the Buddy Head?
Yeah, because there's 3 of them, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, just still.
I don't know. Maybe we were just talking to them a lot.
Yeah, that might have been. It was called InSound Tour Support, by the way. I was correct about that.
Yes, Tour Support. Yeah, that's right.
You know what's premiering tonight, Michelle? Is remember Dig?
The
Brian Jonestown.
Oh, with the Dandy Warhols and Brian Jonestown massacre. Yeah.
God, both Dwayne and I were asked to play bass in that band.
Oh my God!
And I did play with
Disaster.
Jeff Davies. I played a show with him once when I moved to LA. I knew when I was done with music was in Scotland with Space Horse, and I was like done. And then when I moved to LA, I did a thing with Sonny and Rocky, and I quit. And then I did a few shows with Jeff, and done. And
that's so sad.
It is sad.
That was a sad story.
No, I feel like we need to change view to properly appreciate it.
I know.
I just hate my father. Not joking.
Tell us more, Russell.
Russell's actually a third, so his dad is a junior.
Nice.
Russell Harrison White the third. So we're gonna start a new podcast, the 3 of us, called the Eagles Talent.
Eagles Talent.
Think about it, pro.
I've heard worse names. I mean, that's it. Yeah.
It's not going to be called Risk It for the Biscuit.
Michelle and I were so nervous on coming on this thing. I'm not a podcaster.
You didn't need to be. It's fine.
We're getting a final cut.
Terry Gross, it's not. Whatever. It's what it is.
Well,
must be doing something right. Guess.
This has been fun.
Must be doing something not wrong.
Why did you go to Milwaukee, Conan?
Cost of living, my friend. That was Bay Area is pretty goddamn expensive. So because cost of living.
Could you imagine living in the Bay Area now?
Oh my God!
Michelle,
no.
Think about where you lived. Well, how much would that?
Living here is like 5 times the space for half the money, and I'm not even kidding. It's like crazy.
Where I lived in Oakland, I lived in 2 places, and the Blue House is like now next to it. Like I don't even think it's the Blue House anymore, but like it's across the street from like a Target and like a fancy mall.
Oh yeah, that area is like super.
Was that Carrie G's house?
No, so that was on 54th and MacArthur.
Oh, okay,
And
Carrie G was Cars Get Crushed, lady.
That was I saw Last One Juanita's play somebody's kitchen. Over there once. It was crazy.
That might have been our kitchen actually, because Carrie Jean, my roommate, was best friends with Lana Rebel.
Okay, cool. Was it right over by Lane Splitter? maybe like the pizza place.
The pizza place?
Is
Yeah, is that the pizza place that served hot dogs?
Maybe.
Couldn't tell you. It's been too long. But anyway, if that was your kitchen, it was a lovely show, and I've referenced that show.
Yeah, it was a good show. It was a good show.
Okay, so there's the record. To change the shape of an envelope, the camera Obscura available.
Conan, did you have fun?
Yeah, man, that's great. That's great. I'm fine. That's not exactly what I expected, and that's totally okay. You got to risk it for the biscuit, my friend.
What did you expect? We must know.
Well, look. It's
serious.
I've done this show a long time, man. I'm hard to shake, so it's fine. You guys are doing great. So no plans for any shows. It sounds like, right?
Well, you know, if Michelle can just learn the parts.
I know. Dwayne lives in Michigan, and he has 2 kids. And
our drummer has one leg.
Our drummer has no leg. Yeah.
No leg. No.
Our drummer has 1 leg right now, so I don't know.
You know, I almost went for the fucking earbuds, but I went for the.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
I would think as a professional, you would have a better setup there, Russell.
I
literally a sound guy.
I went fucking nuts, but Lark was like, "Don't get a little crazy," and I was yanking gear and shit. Hey, these are fun.
I'll go for the AirPods sometimes. Well, not for this show. For this show, I usually do the wired headphones just because it matters more.
You're
not that anybody
professional.
asks
You got to
me,
do a
but-
professional.
Yeah.
Hey, I said we do a part 2.
the deuce.
Yeah, let's do part 2. If camera was scared, we've never done this before.
Yeah.
But we're doing a part 2.
Never done it before.
Just to stress out Jason.
Tonight's the night. Yeah.
Oh my God, I know. We could add Bill.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Well, okay. I think the re-release is great. I'm glad you guys did it.
Okay, stop it. That's too funny.
I'm doing the show, man. That's what I do. And then I as per normal, I'll make sure there's a link in the show notes so people can check it out and maybe pick up their own copy, Dare to Dream, of this great record. It's been a pleasure having you both on. It's been a blast, obviously.
Thank you for reuniting us. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
now you can understand why we all broke up.
So last thing, this is the only. I'm just gonna blast right
No.
past it. The only it's the only canned question I ever ask, and you can choose to interpret it however you like. So Michelle, we'll start with you. But why do you do what you do?
Now in life?
Choose to interpret it however you like.
Happiness? For happiness? Yeah. Self-satisfaction? I don't know. I love life and I love my family, and that's why I choose to do what I do.
Russell, how about you?
What was the question?
Why do you do what you do?
I'm joking. Survival.
Nice.
But I will tell you this. I fucking love life. And thank you for doing this. And it's absolutely fucking awesome to have a weird conversation. I'm joking. I'll work in comedy, please. Come on.
And on that note, Russell, Michelle, thank you so much for being on the show. Really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you. 'Cause part 2.
Part 2, the deuce. Take care.
Risk it for the biscuit.
Risk it for the biscuit. There they go, Michelle and Russell. Camera Obscura. We'll go ahead and, like I said, I'll throw that in the show notes. The pre-order for that great record coming up. It's awesome. Highly recommended. Let's hear something from it. We'll do 25 Diamonds. All right, little camera obscura there. Was off of To Change the Shape of an Envelope. Envelope, not envelope. 25 diamonds. You can get that Solid Brass Records, the cameraobscura.bandcamp.com. Check it out. It's good stuff. Good stuff. I'd like to thank Russell and Michelle for a wild and woolly good time. That's a little rowdier than I expected, but nothing wrong with that. You've been listening to Conan Neutron's Protonic Reversal. Thank you very much for listening to it. You can find this show Thursdays, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific, streaming live on YouTube, podcasted later, everywhere. Get it wherever you get your podcasts. Archives available for free. ProtonicReversal.com. Always free. No ads, no sponsors, no kidding. But if you like the show and you want to get episodes sooner, $1 a month at patreon.com/Protonic Reversal will gladly achieve that goal. Helps keep the lights on around here, too. Deeply appreciated. Thank you for listening to the show. Thank you for liking, subscribing on your platform of choice, sharing around the internet. All that helps people discover the show, and it's just it's a very darn nice thing to do. So it's deeply appreciated. Follow the show on social media. It's on all the things that I'm aware of. Year 11. Cool stuff coming up. Lots of Conan Neutron Secret Friend stuff coming up as well, but there's some cool stuff for Protonic, so stay tuned for all that. Anything else? Yes, protect your heart. Some rough times coming up. Stay safe out there.
Turns sound into electricity. Can you hear me?
Check you later.
Out on Route 128, you're dark and lonely. I got my radio on. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Welcome to my top 10. I'd like to thank our sponsor. But we haven't got a sponsor. Not if you were the last man on earth. She was prepared to prove it. This one goes out to a special girl. But there is no special girl. It's the end of radio. The last announcer plays the last record. The last what? Leaves the transmitter. Circles the globe in search of a listener. it really broadcasting if there's no one there to receive? It's the end of radio. As we come to the close of our broadcast day, got my radio on. Can you hear me now? This is a test! If this had been a real emergency,